Welcome back to 405 Sports. Today we are talking about the Midwest region of the March Madness bracket. Zach has this region. I'm going to let him get right into it.
All right, number one, we got the big frauds from last year. We got the 29-4 Purdue Boilermakers.
Year before that, too.
Big time frauds.
Big time jokers.
They've lost to a double-digit seed 3 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
But they're due this year, right?
And they do not have the Big Ten refs to bail out Zach Edey. But that still could happen. But first, Grambling State and Montana State to decide who gets slaughtered, more than likely. Grambling, first ever tournament appearance.
Really?
I don't know if that motivates you at all, but we'll see.
It should.
Montana State, on the other hand, this is their third straight appearance.
Ooh.
I think 16 seed or 14, like every time.
That's
But they have an experienced lineup, so I would take Montana State in that one. Now, Purdue, as big as people want to call them frauds, they have some pretty good wins. They beat Gonzaga, who is not the same powerhouse they've been the last couple of years. Beat Tennessee, Marquette, Bama, Arizona, beat Illinois twice, and Wisconsin. I don't know if Colin wants to call that a big win or not.
No, Wisconsin's good.
But I don't know, man. This could be the year that Purdue makes it out of the Sweet 16. I don't know. Probably gets past the first round. I don't know if we're going to have another giant upset like last time.
I actually like Purdue
Not a
lot
big-
better this year.
They're not playing Farley Dickinson.
Another Salukis legend, Lance Jones on Purdue.
Indeed.
We're just fine.
Braden Smith, baby. Next, the 8-9, we got 27-6 Utah State versus number 9 TCU, who's 21-12 in the Big 12. But
Utah State won the Mountain West regular season,
correct.
which that's a good conference.
A lot of people thought, first off, the Mountain West got screwed entirely throughout the seeding. Like Colorado State, not a last four team type of end. Anyways, people thought Utah State was 7 or 6 material. Obviously didn't happen. Danny Sprinkle, their coach, is in the Coach of the Year finalist. And they were in the tournament last year, and they returned literally 0 of their scoring. 13 new players brought in this year.
Really?
And they go 27-6 and win the regular season conference.
That's pretty incredible.
That is, yeah.
Now, on the other hand, we got TCU, who is probably the most difficult team to trust in the Big 12, I would say. They're the most experienced team in the freaking nation, and they just never got it clicking for more than 4 or 5 games in a row. I don't get it. But in this matchup, they're incredibly physical. One of the more physical teams in the country, like long-armed, big guards, a big dude in Ernest Uday down low. I mean, it's not a great matchup. And notoriously, the Mountain West has struggled in the tournament. I don't know if that's going to play a factor, but
It's a toss-up. It really
I
is.
like experience with TCU, even though Utah State's been so good this year.
Yeah.
But
TCU's so like you said, they're so hit or miss. Like it's like two different teams. It really
yeah,
is.
I mean, you watched them in the first half against Houston the other day in the tournament, and it took them like 8 minutes to hit a field goal.
Yeah.
Obviously, Utah State doesn't have that type of defense, but
They also beat Houston.
Come on,
one,
yeah.
So
Come on.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Or even against OU. I mean, they were up like 25, I feel like. And then by the second half, it was like 3-point ball game.
yeah, I mean, they're one of those kill shot teams that can go on a run or give up runs. I mean, if they come out hot, then they'll probably win. But I could see that one going either way. Gonzaga, 25-7. The 5 seed, their 25th straight tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe they've made the Sweet 16 8 straight times under Mark Few. So that's a good reputation to have.
Even his first-round record is electric.
Led by Graham Ike and Anton Watson. Those two have been dogs for him.
Graham Ike is my dog.
McNeese here, probably one of the most common upset picks here, led by Will Wade. Completely flipped the program around, going 30-3 this year, just like he said he was going to. Matchup-wise, Gonzaga gives up the 3 ball like nobody's business, and McNeese is going to shoot them, and they
Banging
shoot them at a
them.
really, really good rate. So if they're hitting, it could make for a fire matchup. And McNeese is kind of opposite. They play defense on the inside interior. They'll give up the three. They'll give it up. And Gonzaga doesn't really like to shoot them. So if Gonzaga's shooting them and hitting them, then they'll have the advantage in that matchup. But I really think that's not how they play. I don't know if they'll abandon it or not. They don't have great shooters like they've had in the past, but
Nimhard can kind of shoot, and the other guards can kind of shoot, but no one's like a
Will Wade.
sniper.
Will Wade's been known for his defense a little bit the past
Yeah.
couple of years when he was cheating, but I don't know, man. Interior defense could be tough.
TCU legend on
Shahada Wells, baby.
Shahada to carry him.
He's been a dog.
Sure
for
has.
McNeese.
Always balled against Oklahoma State. Cade's year when he was at UTA.
Mm-hmm.
Had 15 on us twice last year. Dude's a dog.
Like I know me personally, I got McNeese State,
It's one of the more common ones,
but that's me personally.
also Gonzaga can be listed as one of the more dark horses in this tournament because
yeah.
this is one of the times they're not a 1 seed.
they
Let's project them to go far.
they have the power,
Guys and-
Have the coach,
they have
obviously.
the guys and the coaching to go as far as they want to go. It's just if they show up on a given
Should be a
afternoon.
really good matchup.
Yeah.
Hard rebounds and assists. Take it. I promise you. It's going to miss now, but
Yeah. Next, we got the 4 seed Kansas, 22-10. Finished the year pretty bad. A lot of injuries, and they have no depth at all. So if those dudes don't play, then could be looking at a Samford upset who went 29-5 as the 13 seed. This is more of like a controlled pace game with Kansas. They like to control the ball, maybe run the clock down, run their offense versus Samford. Up-tempo offense. Woo! Called Bucky Ball. Bucky McMillan, the coach, could be an Oklahoma State coach as well. They like to fly around the court. If you look at the trapezoid of excellence, they're going to be about as far right as possible, other than like Western Kentucky, who plays like
I saw that they are, I think, 15th in scoring this year nationally.
they're like 8th.
Is it higher than that?
Yes.
I know they put up like 87 points a game.
They have 6 dudes that shoot over 38% from 3.
Yeah, like they're lights out on offense.
they dropped over
Holy
100.
crap.
134, 128.
Bucky Ball. Bucky Ball.
Twice.
They are going to shoot the 3, and Kansas has not defended it very well this year.
No, and like you said, if especially, I'll let you get to it, and then I'll.
The only downside to Samford is the defense and their lack of size. So if Hunter Dickinson plays in this game, he could have 20 and 20.
Yeah, Purdue put up 100 on them.
Yeah. And how many boards did Edie have? I mean,
It doesn't look like Edie took over in the
Edie
box score.
probably played 8 minutes.
16 and 11, and I'm not sure. he
in
played
20 minutes.
Yeah, so
He
he would have.
would have had 30 and 20.
Hunter Dickinson is healthy and he plays. He might just feast unless they like double him and say,
don't matter.
Johnny Furphy, you beat me.
It was at Purdue, so Zach Edey did get some calls, 10 free throw shot. You got to think about that. They might have been in foul trouble.
So, do we know if Dickinson or McCullough are playing?
It's trending more that Dickinson will. Nobody knows with McCullough. My guess is he would probably tough it out. But if not, he's not going to be the 100% depoy type player.
Yeah, because if they play, I feel like it's a very different. Like you said, the Kansas has no bench. Like they have a 6-man rotation, and that's it. After that, it's and Nick Timberlake's not even a good not even a good 6th man. But if they have McCullough and Dickinson, it's a very different game.
If they can match up well with Dickinson, I don't know how you scheme around that. And if you can control the tempo, like, hey, we're going to have 200 possessions each half, like we're going to fly up and down the court, then they got a chance to pull off an upset.
And yeah, because Kansas can't play fast.
No, they don't want to either. We got a 6 and 11 matchup here between South Carolina, who's 26 and 7. I believe they're projected last in the SEC and ended up tied for 2nd. And then we got Oregon, who's 23 and 11. Only in because they won the Pac-12 tournament. Oregon has Jermaine Couisnard, who is a transfer from South Carolina.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Got a little
wow.
revenge game here. He averages 15 points a game for the Ducks. The Ducks also just got N'Faly Dante, who is a dog back. He crushed it the entire Pac-12 tournament and had like 25 and 10 in the championship. Killed him. South Carolina has one of the slowest paces in the nation. It's like 350 something. It is very, very slow. And 41% of their shots will come from three.
Wow.
That's a lot.
I don't know if I love that combination. The Ducks will play fast, and they're surging at the right time. And there was some stat about an 11 seed going to the Sweet 16 like the last 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's a good stat, and they're surging. I kind of like the Ducks.
I've seen it picked a lot. Just because, like you said, South Carolina plays so slow, and Oregon has been playing so well as of late.
Obviously, South Carolina's been good all year, and they weren't supposed to, but they did. You got anything to say, G?
Like you said, getting Dante back, because I remember watching him. I don't even remember. It was at the very beginning of the year, and it was around the time he got hurt, because they also got Biddle hurt, who's their other 7-footer, who's a white guy. And if they had both of them, it'd almost be like I can't even remember who it was back in like the 80s, because those guys are two ballers to have together. But it's nice to get him back, because they were relying a lot on Kwame Evans, who's a freshman, and he's really not meant for the 5. And now with him being stretched out to the 4, Oregon's getting hot at a bad time for South Carolina.
We got the 3-14 here. Creighton 23-9. Akron's 24-10. I think Creighton is probably one of the more balanced teams in the nation. They just don't always play like it. They've got dudes at every position except maybe the 2 or 3. But it's a deep team. They can shoot. They can play inside. They can play defense. This is a good team, a really good 3 seed. I think in the past and a little bit this year, they tend to get ahead of themselves and not take it one game at a time. Because like when they're all locked in on one game, you saw it when they beat UConn. They are good. They are good. Akron is a great defensive team. It's going to be important that they do that. But if they're letting Creighton control the pace and they're getting out and hitting shots, then it's going to be over pretty quick. I think this is one of the more locks in this region of the bracket for Creighton.
Yeah. I feel like Creighton gets not as much, like you said, ahead of themselves as far as games, but like I feel like they're not patient on offense. Like they take quick threes really, really early in the shot clock, which if they're not hitting them, gets them kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit, and they end up kind of spiraling into just really, really bad shot after really, really bad shot. Which is kind of what they did against Providence. They just chucked and chucked and chucked, and nothing was falling. So if they do that, they're going to beat Akron. But if they do that, they could have problems later in the tournament. But
Against Oregon.
Yeah.
Or South Carolina.
Yeah, a guy like you said, you didn't say his name, but you said like forcing threes, Ashworth. He can't. Not that okay. I've taken his threes a lot, and it's always missed. And you watch the game, and it's just like he's forcing them. And sometimes when they're down in situations, and it's like sometimes you got to find the offense, and you got to find, Baylor or
you just kick it into Kalkbrenner or give it to Trey Alexander. Let him shoot a little mid range. Yeah. Just something easy.
Slow
and
the pace down.
Yeah. They get they try and go too fast, and they just take stupid shots.
Yeah.
7-10 here. Texas versus the winner of Colorado State and Virginia. I, for one, am not really excited for the Colorado State-Virginia game. They both play a pretty sluggish type of game. Like, honestly, the first to 60 points, if they get to 60 points, might win this game. I don't think it's going to be a fun matchup at all.
Take the under.
Sometimes that'll kill you, but Colorado State is okay with playing Virginia's type of game. So I think Colorado State can win that one for sure. Texas, on the other hand, in my opinion, has been a little bit of a disappointment this year, especially after last year.
They way disappointed me. I thought they were going to be like 2, 3, 4 in the Big 12, not 7.
You didn't lose a ton. You got Asmus.
All you lost was Marcus Carr.
Yeah.
and Rice.
Oh, yeah. And Sir
Jabari was good.
Rice.
And Dessou was hurt for part of the year, but that's really not
Timmy Allen?
much of an excuse.
Oh, I guess they did live more than I thought they did.
But they brought
should
some
still
in.
be good.
Near Shedrick.
Interior Morris.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if
Wow.
that's a depth piece Kansas would have. But.
Yeah, Kansas would have loved to have it.
Yeah.
That'd have been nice.
Oh my god.
Too bad I'm not even
Too bad he's a piece of shit. All
right. They do have some March Madness demons on their team. However, Dylan Dessou, you saw it last year before he tore his ACL. Tragically, he was 20-10 like every game. It felt like in that run.
Yeah.
And then Max Asmus, we've seen it before.
Sweet 16, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Beat Arizona
And
and
then
Ohio State.
You saw it a little bit. Who just beat him in the Big 12 tournament?
Kansas State.
Okay, well,
And then Kansas
there
State's
down the stretch when they were playing the foul game, Asmus kept just hitting threes to keep him in the game, and I was like, I'm seeing it right now. Like he could take over in March. He's kind of played a little controlled role, but he could do it in the tournament if he needs to. So could Dessou. Either one of them can take over a game and beat you. And that could set up for a fun matchup with Tennessee, who was 24-8 in the 2 seed, taking on some more legends, St. Peter's.
Oh, yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't St. Peter's first win come against Tennessee?
In that tournament, I believe it was Kentucky.
It was Kentucky.
Because Sammy G's bracket was cooked.
It was Kentucky.
They won.
It was Kentucky.
It was an SEC 2 seed, though.
I'm telling you. I'm going to take them. And then they're just going to... They're going to mess me up.
I think I'm going to give it the ORU comparison. ORU, when they made it last year, some people were on them to beat Duke, and they just got throttled. I think something very similar could happen here. Tennessee, you got Vescovy and a dog in Dalton Connect who could have 50 if he needed to. I just think this is about as bad as a matchup could possibly happen for St. Peter's. I mean,
Tennessee's hard to play against. Because, like, even a guy you didn't mention in Zakai Ziegler.
Yeah.
Dog.
Exactly. I mean, St. Peter's plays a good defense, but there's times they're like us, the Cowboys, where they just can't score at all. And Tennessee plays solid defense. You wouldn't know it because they scored like 90 a game. But it's just not a great matchup, and I don't think it'll be close. Sorry for St. Peter's.
Are you guys excited, if it happens, for the Tennessee-Texas game, the little Rick Barnes?
I do have that
tour?
in the notes. Rick Barnes, former team here.
Yeah.
If both teams do their job.
I think I gotta take Texas in that one.
Really?
Rick Barnes ain't that good in March.
That is true.
Yeah.
Neither is Tennessee.
They did cook my bracket last year. So. No, two
2 years ago. Correct.
Unless Dalton's just like, dude,
And then I'm even more excited for either Tennessee or Texas to play Creighton because I feel like if all of them get to Sweet 16, that's going to be an incredible game. Assuming it's Tennessee Creighton.
do we have a winner coming out of here?
Just went and checked. I have Creighton making it out of that region, which could be risky because, like I said, sometimes they don't have their head screwed in when they play some of these games. But I know when Purdue struggles, it's when they have a good big man, and Kalkbrenner could play good enough defense on Edey.
Mm-hmm. And if Kansas is gone, I mean,
That's a good point. I didn't even mention. If Kansas has Dickinson and McCullough, they're more than...
Yeah, that's not a fun 4 seed.
They're more than welcome to just murder everyone in the bracket.
Could be a lot of upsets in this one. Could be none.
In this one, the first time I looked at it, now this was without Dickinson or McCullough playing, I had the 11, 12, and 13 seed all winning their first round games.
I was like, there could be. This is this region where a lot of upsets will be picked, and very well 0 of them could happen.
well, and if you're a Purdue fan and you're watching Gonzaga, and I'm just saying, if you're watching Gonzaga and Kansas, you're like, Dickinson or Ike? Who do I want Zach Edey to get?
If I'm Purdue, I'd be crapping my pants about Utah State or TCU.
Well, yes, I'm not overlooking those teams.
Ernest Udet.
I'm just,
Uday stinks.
Uday does stink. He's a bum. 5-star.
But yeah, that bracket for me is the most, like, it's probably the more difficult one to pick
For
a champion
upsets.
from.
Yeah.
I believe the first time I did it, I had like 1, 2, 1, 1 in the Final Four. So I was like, all right, Creighton, you're getting bumped up to the Final Four.
Yeah. But before the conference tournaments, I really thought I would have had Creighton and Tennessee both in my Final Four, but they both lost first round to really crappy teams.
They got destroyed.
Creighton got dismantled by Providence, and Tennessee got dismantled by Mississippi State. And neither of those games were fun to watch. So, who knows?
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below who you think is going to make it to the Final Four from this region. Thank you for watching.